Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Marie Holiday, and it is Wednesday, January the 6th, 2021. And I hope everybody have a fabulous day today. And before we get started, I just want to remind my audience to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification button so you can be notified of ongoing uploads to my YouTube channel. And I want to remind the audience, help me meet my end of January 2021 subscription goal of 100 subscribers. I am currently at 67 subscribers strong. I got a new subscriber yesterday, and I want to thank that new subscriber for supporting my channel and being a part of helping this channel reach its 100 subscriber milestone by the end of January. And I really do want to thank everyone for blocking out the time to support my channel, share my YouTube videos. And with that being said, let's get down to the next very important lecture. I've been wanting to do a video upload on this lecture for a while, and I finally got my information together with what I want to present. And this is going to be a very exciting lecture. I want to talk about how to prepare for a promotional interview on your job. How to prepare for a promotional interview on your job. And also this information applies to how to prepare for an initial interview, but I'm going to specifically gear this lecture towards how to prepare for a promotional interview. If the audience is aware, I got a promotion on my job a little over a year ago, and I've used these tips throughout my career. And I also want to share with the audience, although I'm a licensed clinical addiction specialist and I hold a master's degree in counseling, and I'm licensed in counseling, I also hold a master's degree in human resource management. So I'm bringing some of these tips and skills to the table based off my credential. So with that being said, number one tip that's very important in any position you are in, number one is always operate at the next level. Whatever job you have, don't just do the essential functions of the current job you have. Operate at the next level, because you never know who's watching you. You never know who other supervisors and managers are watching your skills, your accountability, that you are self-directed. You're not just performing the essential functions of your job. You're willing to go beyond what is required, because I'm telling you, in workplaces, you're always being watched. You never know, because your reputation will precede and follow you. And supervisors and managers, I'm here to tell you, they watch for that. When they go to management meetings, they are discussing employees, specific employees who are excelling beyond the call of duty. And I'm here to tell you. And that's really what I've done in all promotions I've had throughout my journey. While I was in public sector, private sector, military. When I was in the military, I got all my promotions meritoriously. Number two, when the position has become available, when you observe that specific promotional position has become available and they have posted that position, because when HR posts positions, they're going to have a deadline that job is going to close. So do not miss that deadline. So when the position has been posted, apply for the job. But don't just apply for the job. You may have to go in and change your resume information so that position you're applying for is reflected of that promotional position on that job description. Number three, and this is real important, once selected, meaning once you have been called for the interview, typically when HR call potential candidates for the interview, they'll say, say for example, if you get the call on a Monday, they may say, we're going to begin interviewing next week for this position. We have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week available. So that's giving you time and leverage, which is good. So once selected and called for the interview for the promotional position, prior to the interview, this is tip number 4. Prior to the interview, what you are to do is get a copy, because when they post jobs, you're looking at the job description. You get a copy of the job description. This is the actual job description in reference to the position the promotional position I applied for. Take the job description, and this job description literally is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages long. You're going to take this job description and you're going to create interview questions based off the body of knowledge in the job description. Because in that job description, it's going to give you information about the knowledge, skills, and ability of the position, the essential functions of the job for the position. So powerful tip number 4, you're going to take the job description, you're going to create interview questions based off the job description. Tip number 5, you're going to also create interview questions from the knowledge, skills, and abilities as indicated in the job description. And it's almost like preparing for an oral exam. And you're going to do all of this prior to that interview date that they have already established for you once they call you. And I'm going to show the audience examples of job descriptions, interview questions that I literally created off the job description in reference to the promotion I got a little over a year ago. I came up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of interview questions that I created based off the job description and based off the knowledge, skills, and ability and essential functions of the job as indicated in that job description. And then once I came up with these questions, because I still had a few days to play with, I literally sat down and I answered all of these questions that I created based off the job description, and I spent time studying my response. Even though I know my resume, but I spent time studying my response to these potential interview questions, because with powerful tip number 6, people got to understand the interview panel, the people on that interview panel, when they ask you specific questions, structured interview questions, they're listening to your content. They're listening to how you answer those questions, because to believe it or not, for powerful tip number 6, the goal is the interviewee. The goal is you got to hit established benchmarks on that interview scorecard or that rating scale. Because most organizations, especially in the military, the public sector, I work for state government or corporate America, a lot of these jobs out here now, when they give you a structured interview, I'm here to tell you there is a certain benchmark you as the interviewee got to hit on that interview scorecard or that rating scale. And say if they're interviewing 6 people, they're going to select the person who scored the highest on that rating scale or that benchmark based off how they answer specific questions based off that job description. And I'm here to tell you, because I've done some work in HR. I got a master's degree in HR. I'm familiar with that process. So, and I literally, before I got my promotion, I literally created so many questions based off the job description, and I spent 3 or 4 days answering my questions, talking to myself, or reading my questions, reading my answers, because I wanted my response to be crisp and clear. And I'm here to tell you, because I don't care how many credentials you have or how much experience you have, when they ask you certain questions, and if you ain't hitting them benchmarks based off those interview questions, that's going to have a negative impact on your score and someone coming behind you because they answer those questions in brevity, going to score higher on that specific question. And I'm here to tell you. Number 7 powerful tip on how to prepare for a promotional interview or initial interview, or any question they ask you. Any question that they ask you, always give 3 detailed answers in regards to that question. Because the more detailed and specific you are on answering every question, that's going to raise your rating score. That's going to put you in a position to hit those benchmarks based off that structured interview questions. So give 3, for example, if they ask, describe your work history, your answer should be, I did this position at this organization, position number 1, and then give examples of the essential functions of that job you actually did. This is another position I did. It could have been within the same organization. I filled in, I assisted the lead person in getting to meet the goals and objective of the organization. And you're going to get specific examples of what you did to assist. And then you example number 3, it may be another job that you had in your career that may tie into the position you are interviewing for, and you're going to state that position and get specific detailed information about that position. So 3 examples, but don't just say the 3 examples, give some information about those positions. So tip number 7, always give 3 powerful examples. That's why when you prepare sort of kind of ahead of time and you study this like an oral exam, this information will be fresh in your head and you will kind of have a game plan on how you want to deliver this information. Because although you ain't gonna be able to have this in front of you, but it does help to spend time preparing, studying, thinking or speaking your response, studying your response. Because all the interview is, ladies and gentlemen, is an oral examination. But the goal is you got to hit those benchmarks. Tip number 8. For example, I'm going to give you an example of a specific question that I pulled from the job description. For example, if they're going to ask, describe your knowledge, skills, or ability, or talk. It might not be worded that way, but it's going to be a question that is centered around describe your knowledge, skills, and ability. Anytime I hear that question on the interview panel, I need for the audience to know anytime you hear the word describe your knowledge, and that was one of my questions I came up with. When it talks about describe your knowledge, what that means is that's an indication for you to describe and explain your credentials. Rather, you got a high school diploma, associate's degree, bachelor's, master, a specific training certificate that a training course you have taken, a certification ticket, a certification certificate. Knowledge means specific training, credentials, or some kind of certificate you have earned that's going to help you get you the cutting edge. And then you're going to present that. You're going to state, your high school diploma or your associate's degree, and then your bachelor's or your master, you got the certificate in electrician, or you got this training certificate in plumbing, or any kind of specific training you're going to, or a course that you may have taken. I've taken this course and completed this course in auto mechanics. So whenever they say describe your knowledge, what that means is to elaborate on any kind of training you've had, a certificate or a credential or a degree, and I'm here to tell you. Another tip that a question I created, when they say talk about your skills and abilities, anytime when you hear the word skills and abilities, what they're asking you is to describe other jobs that you may have in your working history. And then don't just say you had this job. You may say, well, I had a job as an electrician or a plumber or as a counselor, or I was lead person, had a job at McDonald's. I worked my way up the lead. Don't leave nothing out. So when you state your position, don't just say the position, then you also describe some of the essential functions of that job. There you go. Remember 3 of them. I don't care if you don't think that it might not apply, but I'm here to tell you, when you start describing the essential functions of all jobs that you had, you will be surprised of some of that information is going to fit that job description. If you worked at McDonald's and you work your way up to lead, that's showing leadership qualities, leadership abilities. So that means you're tasking people, you're delegating. So you're showing leadership. And leadership qualities is applicable for any job in the world. Don't shortchange yourself. So tip number 10, key thing for tip number 10, with all of the questions that you create from the job description, practice, study for your oral examination, aka interview. You want your presentation to flow. When your presentation flow, you sound confident. You got to sell yourself, because that interview panel is going to say, wow, this person has a great presentation. The examples was crisp and clear. They confident. We want this person as a part of our team. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, with those strategic tips and strategies, that is how I got my promotion a little over a year and a half ago, because I prepared and I studied for that oral interview, that aka interview, promotional interview, as if my life depended on it. And I've done these tips and strategies throughout my career. I've done it when I was in the military, when I got all of my promotions in the military meritoriously. I prepared. So these are skills I've been using ever since I was a young woman in my early 20s, and I'm here to tell you. So I also want to share with the audience, because God looking out for me. Believe it or not, December 31st, I had another interview for another promotion. And what did you think I did to prepare for that promotional interview I had December 31st? Absolutely. I got the job description in relation to that particular promotional interview. I created questions based off that job description, and I spent a good 5 days, because by the time they called me to set up that interview was like a week later. So they gave me a good 5 days to prepare. And what I'm here to tell you, when I presented for that oral interview, I represented it. My presentation flowed. I made sure I hit those benchmarks, because I'm aware that if you give 3 good solid examples in brevity, you're going to hit those benchmarks. And I'm here to tell you. And I don't know the outcome of that particular interview, but I will hear something. But irregardless, my point is, even though I got an interview, a promotion a year and a half ago, within that whole year and a half in that promotional job, I have been operating for the next level. I'm here to tell you, I started operating for the next level day 1 in a new position, and the outcome is I got an interview. And I'm here to tell you, I blew them questions out of the water. Make no mistake about that. That is how you prepare yourself. So with that being said, don't forget to hit my subscribe button. Please subscribe to my channel and help my channel reach its milestone of 100 subscribers by the end of January 2021. I, Marie Holiday, want to personally thank all of my 67 subscribers for supporting my channel, for subscribing to my channel, spreading my channel around. I want to personally thank you from the bottom of my heart. This channel is nothing without my viewers, is nothing without my subscribers, is nothing without my potential subscribers, but most important, it is nothing without all of the 67 people who hit that subscribe button to support my channel. And I really do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And with that being said, simplify, simple for zealous. Have a great morning. I got to get ready to go to work to continue to operate at the next level. And I'm here to tell you, have a great day.